Hey everyone, today I'll be using Cornucopia from Hendrix Classics & Co. and I will be talking about the Great Halifax Explosion, 100 Years of Friendship. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, happy Thanksgiving. Hope it's a good one. I'm filming this on Thanksgiving Day, if you can believe it. I wanted to do the night before, had some things happen. So I'm going to start out first and foremost with saying I am thankful for my wonderful wife, who with 4 children in the midst of cooking said go take an hour to do your video. So thank you, Jessica, because she knows I've been wanting to do it for about 3 days now, and just things kept coming up, and you know, the holiday and all that. So I'm up here doing this for her, or because of her, I should say. Coffee of the day, the wonderful Artistic Bean Coffee Roastery. This gift from Ethan at the Shave Mercantile. I still have a lot of it, dude, because I know that once this is gone, it's gone. So I've been very hokey in when I use it, and today's a special occasion, what with Thanksgiving and all. So lovely stuff. Wonderful dark roast, this stuff. I'm pretty sure they sell online. Alexander Parkway, or at least go look them up, go Google them. Artistic Bean Coffee Roastery. This is really good stuff. So, let me start out the video with saying it is a history shave. I have a lot I want to say, some of which is overdue, some of stuff I just want to get off my chest. That's why I have the Monday monologues, so I can get out personal stuff or whatever's on my mind and not do it during a history shave, which makes the history shave shorter. Okay? I've noticed that I've been starting to run longer, which I don't mind at first, but it's getting, I know it's a long time to watch me, almost 40 minutes. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get through the history shave first. And then if I have enough time, I'll mention some stuff at the end of the video. If not, I'm going to do a completely separate video, not shaving, where I just talk about some stuff. We had something happen yesterday, all kinds of, that's what I mean. I don't want to get too far into it. So, if you would like to watch this to the end, I might be talking about personal stuff, I'm not sure. If this is like 20, 25 minutes long, then I'm going to make another video. You'll see. If there's 2 videos released, this was too long, okay? So, that being said, I'm going to show you what I'm using. Cornucopia from Hendrix Classics & Co. This does not have a matching aftershave. However, I think he had said you could reach out to him and he would make you one. I did not. Part of the reason I like single soaps without a splash, I prefer the set, but if not, I get to go in and make a Frankenshave, you know, where I can just pick and choose whatever I'm going to put in it. Pairing, as we all know. So this has cedar, patchouli, and cinnamon. That's it. Wonderful scent, very earthy, but very sweet at the end. I like it a lot. So because of that, I'm using my lather and wood pre-shave oil. Haven't used this in a very long time, at least on camera, actually overall. And due to the patchouli, I decided to go with Luna from Elysian Soaps, the partnership release they did with, where the hell is it? There it is. Wetshaving store, okay? There's patchouli in this, there's some other stuff, but it fits very nicely with this. And because it is sweet at the end, I thought I would go with the Pre De Provence number 63. This has a sweet woody scent, the balm here. So I think that'll be a nice finish for that. I'm going to be using my Il Grande Gentile Fatip copper razor, along with Perma-Sharp blades, 3rd use. And I'm using my Summer Break Soaps Badger brush. I don't know, I forget what I named this thing. It didn't have an official name, so oh no, he named it. Kyle named it, I think. I'll have to go back and look. I can't remember, but there you go. This has a Maggard bore knot. Spectacular bore knots. I love the Maggard bore knots. I only have 2 of them. So let me go ahead, and I'm using my awesome bowl I found at Home Goods, okay? And let me get to lathering. Go ahead and open these up. It's like a freaking commercial at the beginning of these videos. I bought 6 cases of those Sprites because they go like that. Now I have oil on my fingers. So she looked at me like I was nuts, because I got 6 cases of those, but who cares? All right, so today's topic. all right, is the Great Halifax Explosion. I called it 100 Years of Friendship. I know that's kind of vague. You saw the cover, it's just a big explosion cloud. This occurred in 1917. So that's why that picture looks kind of hokey and weird. One sec. Oh, I was this close to using Rogue Raven Grooming's beard oil that I have, which is lavender, patchouli, and pine. I just thought it'd be too much patchouli because my wife does not like patchouli at all. Which, funny enough, she likes the scent of cornucopia. Go figure. So, all right, I'm going to shake this out quite a bit because it is a boar brush. And the water level went a little higher than I like. So there's going to be excess water in the top of this knot, but it is what it is. But all right. So the Great Halifax Explosion occurred on December 6, 1917 in the harbor of Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada. Okay, so that picture of that map there, that's Maine. And I'm trying to go from memory here, but if you can see, there's a little divot in the coastline of Maine there. That's Penobscot Bay. And at the top of that little divot is the Penobscot River, and that's where I was stationed. That's Rockland. And I was stationed, and we would go break ice up in the Penobscot River, Buzzards Bay, other places too. Now, what's significant as well is right there you can see the Bay of Fundy. The Bay of Fundy holds the world record for the largest difference in mean low tide and high tide. And it's something like 24 feet, 28 feet difference. So we would tie up in Eastport, Maine. When we would tie up, you'd be able to see the stanchions in the main deck of our ship. We'd go out on the town, come back at the evening, and you would just see the mast and maybe the stack, and that was it. And the Bay of Fundy also has the Old Sal Whirlpool, which we, from a distance, I got to see through binoculars on the bridge. Well, technically the flying bridge, but that's neither here nor there. Not the flying bridge, excuse me, the bridge wing. Good Lord, the flying bridge is the top of the bridge, which if you had all the equipment going, you would not be up there. The radar's dangerous. Anyhow, sorry. So, significant for me. The two ships, the French Mont Blanc and the Norwegian SS Imo, I'm going to say Imo sounds weird, collided. Okay? The Mont Blanc was laden with munitions and explosives due to World War I. Now, there's a photo, an actual photo of the real Mont Blanc. The Mont Blanc was huge. Pretty sure. Or was the Iwo? Was the Mont Blanc tiny? No, the Mont Blanc was tinier than the Iwo. Sorry. So the munitions were outbound for the battlefields of the war. Halifax, during wartime, had become quite a bustling war port. It was a great place. It was one of the closest ports to Britain across the Atlantic, because the coastline came up and curved out, and so it was a better straight shot. And because of that, it had grown considerably. Now, again, it was outbound for the several fronts of the Great War. That's why it was laden. I mean, it was really to the gills. This ship was packed with everything possible you can imagine that's explosive. And at the time, and because of the war, things were hectic. There wasn't a lot of regulation in safety protocols and the like. So much of the industrial activity was centered in Richmond. Okay, it was a working class neighborhood on the north end of the city. And across the harbor was a town called Dartmouth. And there was another town that was primarily African American people, well, African Canadian, I should say, called Africville. And that alone, I didn't really mention it here at all, because that alone is its own, I think, history shade, in my opinion. It's pretty interesting. But it was a black-only neighborhood and section of, I believe it was on the Dartmouth side. I might be wrong. Very interesting stuff, though. So, the reason I brought it up is because they assisted in what's to come. A lot more than I think they got recognition for. So on the morning of December 6th, the outgoing Imo found herself far to the east of the harbor, instead of to the western side where outbound ships usually traveled. So, I didn't include a map, I decided not to, but basically the harbor narrowed into an upside down funnel. And it was trying to go, and here was Dartmouth, and here was Halifax. And it was traveling the wrong side. So basically think of British drivers. I would think would be the best analogy, is they drive on the left side of the ship. Incoming, you're on the left side. Outgoing, you're on the other side, the right side. Your starboard port, da-da-da. So it's hard to picture, but the western side, found herself far to the side, east of the harbor, so the western side. Here's a photo of the IMO grounded. This is right after the explosion. Okay? And that's the IMO. She got, I don't know how she didn't get obliterated, but she was pushed up aground from, I'm trying not to spoil anything, from what happens. The incoming Mont Blanc was on the eastern side, as was customary. The IMO, allegedly traveling at an unsafe speed, ultimately failed to yield and struck the Mont Blanc on her starboard bow. And this is why I was trying to remember, because look at the size comparison. This is a model reenactment of what occurred. You can see the bow of both ships. The starboard bow is messed up, and the bow is all torn up. So they collided. IMO's fault. Although, oddly enough, no one was officially faulted legally for the explosion. And after a pause, the two ships began to pull apart. A gash was left in the Mont Blanc's hull, and sparks were soon created as the ships pulled apart. Now, I don't know if you guys are chemistry experts or anything, but things that go kablooey and hot stuff like sparks and fire don't mix very well. So I think you can see where this is going. Metal on metal scraping, even under the waterline as it was, created sparks. There's that lather. Sorry, I haven't really showcased that. I'm trying to, I added a little too much water, as I figured would happen. So I got some air bubbles here. So I want to do Mr. Hendricks Pete's, how you doing, Pete? His soap some justice. Wonderful scent, very patchouli heavy. If you're not a fan of patchouli, you might not like this. It's very patchouli heavy, but it's three basic ingredients, and the cinnamon was a nice touch, I think, because it sweetened the deal for the wood and the patchouli. I like it a lot. All right, so gonna be thin. I'll thicken it up, like always. You know the deal. Grains of picric acid then ignited. You knew that was going to happen. In the lower decks. Picric acid is a highly volatile compound used in explosives and dyes. And it was in grain form. So it was dry grains of picric acid that were on the ship that ignited. And if you can hear activity, that's the family downstairs doing their thing. My daughter's watching Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the movie, keeping her baby brother preoccupied. My son's in his room. My oldest is in his room playing something with his buddies. My 13-year-old is making sure that our aggravation level doesn't dip too low by occasionally walking out asking if dinner's ready yet. But I won't complain too much because I'm up here shaving and my wife is not. That cinnamon really comes out stronger. You don't get it as strong in the tub. But lathered, man, that's really good. I wonder if it's synthetic. It didn't say. I think everyone's starting to lean more towards the synthetic cinnamon. Just because of, you know, I think it's a higher risk of possible frag burn, maybe not. I don't want to speak for them because I have no idea. Same with clove. A lot of clove and bay and all that. Thankfully, knock on wood, same equivalent. I've not had anything give me frag burn that I'm aware of. Not even mildly. So, got a steel face apparently. Alright, time to shave. Now, the ship burned for about 20 minutes as the crew desperately rowed to shore to warn everyone of the impending calamity that was on its way. So the crew knew, and they abandoned ship, obviously, but they were doing it to try to get people the hell away. Meanwhile, plumes of dark smoke could be seen by both towns. Well, if I was walking by a harbor and I look over and saw a ship burning, am I going to run? No. I'm going to go, I wonder what the hell's happening over there, and I'm going to stand there and watch. And unfortunately, this began to draw crowds, and they gathered at the shore to watch the mounting disaster. Firefighters and others actually started to make their way towards the ship in order to fight the fire, which is what you're going to do being a firefighter. All right, thicken that up. Get some suds ready for pass number 2. And I'm going to show you what I got. There we go. Oh, that's so good. See why it's called a cornucopia now? Because I would use this on Christmas. I bet you if I paired this with a spicy cinnamony Christmas scent, it'd go beautifully. Get my mustache mover hook thingy, aka dental pick. There we go. I love these perma-sharp blades, dude. Especially after they've been used 1 or 2 times. Smooth, smooth shavers. Love them. Okay. Draw crowds. By then, the Mont Blanc had drifted towards a section of Halifax called Pier 6. And it was laden with homes, ships, the Royal Navy, Canadian College, and a sugar refinery. So basically, if you could point on a map at the worst possible place you'd want a detonation to occur, that's where it drifted towards. Not to mention the larger influx of people than normal gathering to watch the ship on fire. Now, the reason I picked this topic will become apparent. I was going to go with, I was this close to doing Mary from Tallow and Steel, because I wanted a Canadian company, something to do with Canada. But I did not do a video last night. Instead, I'm doing it on Thanksgiving. So I have got to use a soap called Cornucopia on Thanksgiving Day. So, but I almost did Mary. As in Mary and Christmas, not Mary like Virgin Mary or something. And that was a gift to me from my buddy Chad. How you doing, Chad? We already said happy Thanksgiving over the phone, but happy Thanksgiving again, buddy. Same to you, Ryan, from Tallow and Steel. I know yours was a while ago. But happy Thanksgiving. Happy American Thanksgiving. There we go. At 9:04 a.m. in 35 seconds, the Mont Blanc exploded. Kablooey. This is a photo actually taken. It was from another ship that started with an A, the Argo or something like that. I forget the name of it. But the shock wave was so massive it caused a tsunami. The explosion was the largest man-made detonation until the first atomic bombs dropped in 1945. That's a big old explosion, dude. The scope of this thing cannot be overstated. How big this explosion was. Ultimately, more than 2.5 kilometers of Richmond were leveled by the blast. The tsunami or the resulting fires as well. Okay, so as a continuation. It was leveled by the blast, the tsunami, or resulting fires. Whoopsie. The blast was heard for miles. In fact, a fishing vessel off the coast of Massachusetts claims to have heard the rumble of the blast. Although they stated at the time they thought that it was not dry, there's dry lightning, not dry thunder. Winter thunder, what's that called? The snow thunder. White thunder? Cold thunder? I can't remember. Basically where there's thunder during winter. They thought it was that. And they're not sure. They think they very well could have if the conditions were right. But no one knows for certain if they did indeed hear it. So that photo were some of the ruins, obviously, during the cleanup. The Mont Blanc's anchor was hurled 4 kilometers away and remains where it landed today. Okay? It wasn't the entire anchor. The actual anchor was blasted apart. The force of the blast took the solid anchor and just blew it into pieces. And there's a photo of the shank of the anchor that led to the, you know what an anchor looks like. That's the long top part that the chain connects to. And there's now, if you can read it, I don't know if you can, you might have to pause it and zoom in or something. But it says right there on the memorial that this anchor landed here. Around 1,600 people were killed instantly. And there were around 400 more that would succumb to injuries in the days that followed. That's really sad. Now y'all might be wondering, damn dude, why the hell would you pick this topic for Thanksgiving Day? There is a reason. I paused because my Adam's apple, I feel like I just nicked it again. No. Around 1,500 buildings were destroyed. 25,000 people were left homeless. Even worse, and you might go back and look at some of these photos as if, it's just a twist of the knife by fate a little bit. The very next day, Halifax, the whole region, was hit by a massive winter blizzard. So people were automatically trying to go and rescue people, look for wounded, dead, and they get hit by a winter blizzard. So a lot of these photos, you'll see there's all this fresh snow on the ground. That's why, on top of the newly formed ruins. Ooh. Baby's being a butthole. All right. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to go check, make sure everything's okay. It is, but 1 sec. All right, we're good. I don't know if you heard that. I heard her saying, like, go in or something. I was afraid she was going to burn herself putting something in the oven. All righty. Never a dull moment. Okay, sorry. Well, I am and I'm not. It's life. Okay. Winter blizzard struck Halifax very next day. All right. Help and relief came flooding in. Hundreds of military personnel arrived and took emergency control. The townsfolk went house to house looking for survivors. There's a photo of the military and the police and civilians and people helping. Good times. An organization, I meant that being facetious, sorry. So the townsfolk went house to house, I already said that. An organization called the Massachusetts, now here's why I picked this. Okay? An organization called the Massachusetts Halifax Relief Committee was created in nearby Boston. News of the disaster reached Massachusetts Governor Samuel W. McCall by 11 a.m. on December 6th. There's a photo of the Honorable Mr. McCall right here. And the poor man only lived a couple more years after this. Seemed like a good guy. Give me 1 sec, I'm behind on the shave because I'm rushing through the history part of it. He immediately offered the mayor of Halifax unlimited assistance. All right. A train with doctors, nurses, and medical supplies was sent that evening to Halifax. So they immediately, he offered assistance and just prepped assistance anyways, what he thought they would need, and sent it on its way. It's a man of action. I like it. While asking, what do you need, you send what you know he needs anyways without waiting for an answer. It's the way to do it. In fact, that just reminded me of I had a couple people in my life say this phrase to me, but the most recent I can think of is my buddy Paul, who's a plumber, when I worked with him for a while. He used to say, give me what I need, not what I asked for, when I was handing him tools and stuff. So basically, sorry, it just reminded me of that. It's pretty funny. Made me smile. Good memories. So the relief committee was able to raise over $500,000 at the time. I don't know the equivalent. I should have looked that up. To rebuild and refurnish homes. So new houses right here. And I don't know if you can see on the fence, it literally says furnish the houses on the fence. It's pretty neat. So over 1,800 homes were helped and over $25,000 was spent for the care of those injured and blinded by the explosion. Because quite a few people had the misfortune of looking at the detonation while it occurred. It was like looking at the sun. They were blinded by it. All right. And stuff like that you don't think of till it's pointed out. You're like, oh, I would have never thought of blind people, but it makes complete sense. Ever since the disaster, here's the cool part. Ever since the disaster, Nova Scotia has sent Boston a Christmas tree as a thank you for the help that they received on that cold December of 1917. It is a tradition that continues today. Okay? In fact, this year's tree is a 40-year-old white spruce tree, and it is 45 feet tall. This is from the Boston Globe, I believe. I might say copyright at the bottom, I can't remember. But they have Santa welcome the tree every year. You see the Nova Scotia flag there. And it was donated by the town of Stewiacke, Stewiacke. My apologies, because I probably horrifically mispronounced that. Nova Scotia. Stewiacke, Nova Scotia. And every year it is erected at 139 Tremont Street in the Boston Common, which I've been to several times, along with live music, a lighting ceremony, and a thank you and reminder of where it's from and why. And that's from, I believe, last year or the year before. The tree lighting this year is going to be the 30th of November, so a week from now. And that right there is why I picked this topic, because apparently some people, myself included, had absolutely no idea that this occurred. Not apparently, that sounded arrogant. A lot of people don't know about this. I didn't know about it. I learned about it. I'm like, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. So almost 110 years ago. And every year they still send us a tree. Bostonians. And I think something like that is very important. And in Nova Scotia to this day, there's a hilltop with a memorial on it, and they will gather on the anniversary once a year on this hilltop to listen to the bells of the nearby church toll, to remember the people who lost their lives during the disaster. So both sides of the border. And on top of that, right after I picked this and was writing it down, all the weird stuff that started happening on the bridge started happening on the American-Canadian border. Like, what the hell is going on? So combined effort on both sides of the border to figure out whatever that is. Just a lot of, it's been a weird couple of days. So let me rinse this off. I'll do post shave. Be right back. Okie dokie. I don't think I mentioned it, but I'm wearing, in case anyone was wondering, Templar shirt. That's the actual creed of the real Templars from history. And I don't bring a lot of I don't bring religion or any of that into this stuff for obvious reasons, but this time of year, stuff that's been going on, I just felt like wearing it. Pretty neat, I think. And it's historic, so what the hell, why not? Cranberry Sprite. Delicious dark coffee. And would you believe it or not, that didn't taste very well mixed together. Okay. I couldn't decide which one I wanted, so I had them both. So, I hope you all like that tail there. It's pretty neat. Like I said, not really widely known as far as I'm aware. I might be wrong. I don't want to seem like a know-it-all. And I forgot to use Luna for autumn this year. I guess there's still time to do it. Absolutely phenomenal scent. So there, like I said, there is patchouli in this. So like there's some pine. Oh, I don't know what else. It's a vetiver, I think. It's very nice, very pleasant, very good autumn scent. Oh, something sweet in there too. Maybe it's the cinnamon left over from the soap. That's good. Good choice, Brain. Thank you. That goes really damn well with cornucopia. I like that a lot. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the balm. I'm going to go ahead and end this video, and then I'm going to immediately start a second video and just talk about a couple things. Shouldn't be too long. I know that's weird. People are going to see 2 videos come out. But I'm going to do a Thanksgiving opener for, I think, for both. And I'll just talk about some stuff. It is Thanksgiving after all. Why the hell not, right? But thank you very much for watching to the end. I appreciate it. I still see put 32 damn minutes. Look at that. Oh well. About 30 minutes. It's the average for a history shave. I'm doing it justice anyways. It's actually not bad for 3 freaking pages. Well, 2.5. It's a lot of writing, huh? I love when people are like, geez, man, you really put a lot into that. I'm like, yeah, I do. I have fun with it. I learn. And more importantly, I have people who reach out and say stuff to it, and that makes it all worth it. So, all right, that'll do it. If you would like, go watch the other video I'm going to upload as well. Just, it's just me talking because I didn't do a Monday monologue, but, I'd appreciate it if you went and gave it a look-see. But until then, until next time, thank you, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a wonderful time with family, friends, whoever. Even if you're by yourself, that sucks. But there's always happiness around you. You'll find it if you look hard enough. There's always a reason to be thankful. But yeah, take care, everyone. Thank you very much. Happy Thanksgiving again. Happy shaving. Take care.